All right, back again. Another message, man. And we're talking about why you should not rush to save a relationship after a discord. This could be with narcissists or not, right? Just regular people. This is why it's important. Many of you, when this happens, you're not thinking right. You panic. And in that state of panic and thinking about losing it all, losing everything that you invested your time in, everything that you did up to this far to try to make something work with an individual, you realize it's about to all be done and over with. So many people in this state, they panic, right? And this is something where the narcissist is really paying attention, or anyone that's trying to be manipulative in this situation, they're looking at the reaction that you're doing by coming after them. So basically, let's say you were holding your ground in this situation or relationship, whatever. You were holding your ground, you weren't trying to bend, and they pulled the ultimate trump card by discarding you, breaking up, leaving, right? And they're like, okay, we're gonna see if you still gonna be on this or still talking this. We're gonna see how much holding your boundary up to them really means. We're gonna see. Is your resistance worth losing them? That's where the test is. Is your resistance worth losing them? So the thing that has to happen is something extreme. And that something extreme is them breaking up with you. Them ghosting you. Right? Because that's supposed to break the will. It's supposed to break the willpower or the will or the boundary that you've created to keep things even killed, to keep things leveled. It's a tactic. It's a strategy that gets used a lot of times when people are trying to play the power position, because they call it quits, exaggerate the situation, blow it out of proportion, make it seem like they just can't deal with you. You're just too much. They're out of there. So they want to make it seem like you had me. We were going to be good. We were going to be cool. It was if you just had to change these things about yourself and I would have been okay with you. Right? So the ultimate goal is to get you to compromise your boundary, your boundaries, your position that you stand on, your principles, sometimes your morals, whatever code of ethics, whatever you have in place to protect yourself and your best interests, right? And all of your interests around that. They're trying to compromise that. So them knowing that in most cases when people have invested in a lot of things and it hasn't gotten to a very bad, deplorable state, right? They have to do this while things are still good. Discards have to come where it's not totally a waste, like to where you don't care anyway. It has to still, the discard has to be while you still care. A discard when you don't care is useless. And they know that. So the discard has to come when you still give a care about being in the situation, about being with them, so forth and so on. It has to come at that particular time. It's going to be most effective at that time because you're going to be more willing to salvage and keep that person and bend rules because of the potential of what could possibly be. That's why I said if you go off potential and you allow potential to be your driving factor as to whether or not you're going to be with someone or not, that's going to really get you caught up into deeper waters than you can actually swim in, right? For long periods of time. And so when they get you to that point and you compromise, you panic, you compromise, okay, let me just get them back. They're coming back with a whole nother game plan. Because now they see, well, I got you to kind of bend. Now I'm going to hold you to that. Now I'm going to hold you to everything that you said you were going to change in order to keep me. And they're going to really press a hard line with that to keep you in that mode until you really start to change and adjust yourself so that they can have the power leverage. That's all it's about. It's a power battle. It's a power struggle. It's a power leverage. You know, I go over many of these things with clients and explaining how to offset that, different tactics to offset that, because it goes on a lot. There's always a power struggle. How to find when it does come and how to stay in that position, in your position of power without compromising. And how to read when it's being done to you. A lot of people don't even know when it's being done. It's being done so subtle. And again, it looks so genuine because they pick issues, right, that it may be a real issue, but they blow it out of proportion. They make it bigger than what it needs to be. And then they strike with a discard or ghosting you. And you're trying to figure out what's going on because, again, everything isn't bad at this point. There's still some good. There's still something that the person would like to see, you know, how it would play out in the future if they were to be together, if they were to be long term and so forth. That people aren't really, you know, they're really not as heavy on letting go, right? When there's still a potential of maybe they could work this out. Maybe it is a misunderstanding. This is the things that's going on in a person's head when this happens, along with panicking, along with thinking everything's going to go down the drain all the time, energy. So they give in. And that's the wrong move. That's the wrong move because that's what they were waiting for. They just backed off. They knew they weren't going to leave. They had an alternative plan, of course, if you didn't come back right away or if you didn't break down. But they're banking on, you know, just the basic general human psychology of when this type of thing is done to the average person, how they react and respond once they really like someone and want to really keep that person around. So they do it in that state of when you really, really like them. You really think you found the right partner to connect with and be with. They know in your mind, you're not going to want to let that go. You're not going to want to, depart from that and say, oh, well, what the hell? You're going to go fight for it. That's what normal people do. They fight for things that they want. You're going to go try to fight for that. They're going to, play the little cat and mouse, come in, give a little, but back out. Give a little, but back. And that's also a tactic, of making it seem like, well, I want to come back, but this is, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. And in your mind, the psychological aspect of it, you're thinking, well, maybe they're getting further and further away. The longer we're apart, it's going to go bad. Let's just get back on track. And that's why they do that. They don't just come right back in full fledged. A lot of times they like to come in a little bit, back out, come in until they see you starting to really put in more of the effort. Now the whole power structure has changed. This is how a lot of times when you wonder how narcissists get to be where it seemed like you were, well in control in the beginning and even knew more than them and so forth, how they reverse, turn the tables on you, and you don't understand how it happened or when it happened. This is one of the methods and the ways, right? And again, it's not just narcissists that use this. This is just something a lot of times people who like to be in control use this tactic so that they can gain that position. If you see this tactic, it is one that is being used to control, manipulate, and alter the way you operate with that person so that they can have the leverage over you. And you're the one mainly doing the work, and they have the control essentially. So if you see it, if you ever see that discard relationship, you think you're losing everything, you got to be okay with saying, fine, I'll take the loss. Because if you play the game, you're going to lose more in the end when it's said and done. All right. That's all I got to say for this one. Hit the like, share, subscribe, book a consultation one-on-one with me. Click the link in the description box. Just click my email, and I'll get you the information on how to do that. Till next time, have a good one.